seems that one, my cat wants to knock my monitor over. I don't know if you saw that. He ran from my camera. But two, these bans seem relatively standard. Xin Zhao, I mean, Talia is a bit more out there, but still, a relatively standard ban. The mid laners, some of them have Talias, other ones don't. And usually when I see a Talia, they're pretty effective. So I do like the ban. See the Lucian, the Lilia taken away. And we're gonna have to see how this goes. I'm worried about the spice,
Yeah, I mean, again, it's always a scary thing to talk about. Also, Ryze and TF being nerfed are pretty notable for the mid lane. TF got a huge win rate spike after his buffs, mostly due in part to the buff to his ultimate as Corki first pick. I've talked about this pick a lot. I'm not a fan. Never am a fan. Always seems to lose, but it did win today, actually, in MSI. Which, speaking of, today, first day of MSI, people, as Varus going to be locked in here. So far, pretty standard, even though my disdain for the Corki.
I mean, you've got that artillery style from the Varus, and we'll see what they pair it with. A lot of the time, they usually pair it with a jungler, as the Nefiri's locked in. They pair it with a jungler. They wait until the later on for the supports. That's the common trend. They either pick the support in the third slot, or they wait until the latter half of the draft. But I see now that the Leona is picked up, and a lot of these times these teams like to play for the support counter picks, but it seems like they're more than happy just to take the Leona now, grab it, use that sort of engage style that she has, pair it with the Pantheon, who can just literally land wherever he wants, and it's a kind of a get in there comp already being built.
Yeah, I really like Corki Leona. Gives you a lot of early pressure. One of Corki's most slept on aspects is just how good he is in the early stages, especially in the very early levels, 1 through 3, very effective for him. Urgot gonna be the lock-in here for Walk. I would say it's not that unexpected, as pretty much a Walk champ there, but Braum is gonna be banned away from Doggo. I would have maybe potentially liked to have seen the Braum come out instead of the Urgot, but maybe worried they're gonna have that banned away, and looks like they're more than happy to blind the Urgot, which a bit surprising, but they are banning things that are decent into it. So what are they going to pick on for here? Probably going to be the support, I'd imagine. Keep the counter pick for your mid laner alive.
Because you already got that support matchup confirmed. It's the Leona, right? And the Nico is a flex pick. I mean, yeah. You can send it to the mid, you can send it to the support. Most of the time I see it, though, it has gone to the support, so I wouldn't be surprised if it is put into the hands of Warlock here. But we see the Gragas picked up, and that's probably, I say it's probably going jungle, but then again, I've seen a good deal of Gragas top as well. It's just, do you think it's, we'll get confirmation of that now, because likely going to be Pantheon jungle, Gragas top. And we'll see how Doggo decides to round out their draft here, because this is an interesting one. You've got all this get in there, and then you have Mel.
I mean, so later in the game, Corki kind of transitions into pseudo poke, so it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. They also have a decent pick comp between Pantheon with the Mel root and also Leona, just all of her CC. As Silas is going to be the response here into the Mel. Is kind of one of her counters. Because she can't really block anything from you or reflect it back. If she chooses to reflect your chain, she just bounces herself into you, which is what Silas wants. So far, game 1 draft looking pretty good. My question is, will Walk Warlock perform on the Urgot or not? Because we've seen these players pick out Urgot and then they get behind and it's basically 4v5, or they get ahead and they're the 6th member for their team, right? So hit or miss for sure on that Urgot pick.
It's like you said, the Urgot is something that is a bit scary to pilot and to have on your team, but also as the enemy team, you've got to be. It's so volatile, right? You got to pay a lot of attention to it. I'm not going to be surprised to see this Pantheon, showing up topside. But how this matchup into the Gragas, how does it go? Because I feel like this is a pretty unique top lane. I don't know if Gragas could just passively sit by, or is it just Urgot's just gonna bully him? What exactly is gonna go on?
Well, the thing about Gragas top is just how great he is at neutralizing lanes. Like, he is probably the best lane neutralizer outside of maybe Ornn or Cassante. And even then, I think Gragas is a little bit safer because he can farm from quite a bit of distance, thanks to the barrel. He also has quite a bit of poke in his kit, so a lot of things that the Gragas top can do. As obviously there, it will in fact be that Pantheon jungle, so I don't know. I also like Nico. Nico support got nerfed last patch, so not as strong in like the poke variants, and I kind of worry if Leona does manage to get on top of Nico with the Corki damage, like she might just die. That's like a very big worry for me in the early stages of the game. If they can find angles onto the Nico here, could just spell demise for Doggo's bot lane. But speaking of Doggo, they do have the Doggo on their team. Nefiri still doing wonders. This champ is just so ungodly good.
I was gonna ask, like this matchup, the Nefiri and the Pantheon. I've seen a lot of Pantheon recently. The Nefiri goes usually in the banned column, but this, Pantheon, as we are about to send us into game right now, this Pantheon though, how does this matchup go for the two of them?
So for me, Pantheon could technically get on top of the Nefiri, but the problem with that matchup is if Nefiri W's your W, has that immunity. I really think it could be a problem here, but overall, I think it could be quite strong for the Nefiri. Really just comes down to hands, right? Can the Nefiri realistically get the W off in time to avoid the W? If not, the Pantheon can trade quite well into it, but also going to be the red smite coming across here for the Nefiri. As early wards coming down already from Bing Chillers into the topside jungle of Doggo, but they are going to find themselves one in return. So basically even trade and vision there so far. Big thing for me as well to note is I just really fear for this Urgot. If the Urgot does get behind, as Nefiri's Doggo is taking a walk.
Where is it going?
They just do this sometimes. Oh, it's actually Nico. It is Nico. So Nico can turn into a Nefiri dog. Almost forgot about that interaction. As Nico just gonna be a dog, as just chilling as a dog. But they are gonna see the Nefiri starting on those chickens. So both junglers looking to path the same way it appears. Both starting top side. So realistically, I think Pantheon should be able to gank quite easily here, because it is Pantheon, but already early game pressure going the way towards walk in this top side.
I mean, right now you've got this. How do I say this? You've got this bot lane pathing from the both of them. And we talked about the volatility of this Urgot matchup. I say volatile as we get flashed on, plucked, and put down. You see, you're a big target, so I'm going to grab you, throw you over, and put a hole right through you. First blood.
Nice kill coming in from walk there in the top side. That being said, right, again, it is still that Gragas, so even this death shouldn't really hurt him too much, but we were talking about the hit or miss for Urgot, so starting early is great. Finding a very early first blood is fantastic for you. That arrow going to miss from the Varus, so but that's okay. Plenty of more in the quiver for him. As in fact, he doesn't even have a quiver.
Damn.
He just straight up summons them. Really good poke here.
But we were talking about the volatility of the matchup in the top lane, but it seems like both junglers are content to path towards this bot side, and you see the Varus and the Nico are just shoving in the Corki and Leona. And you said you're not the biggest fan of this Corki early pick and the Corki pick in the bot lane. And is this just because he's liable to be abused by junglers, specifically somebody like Nefiri, or is it just more so it just doesn't feel too great right now?
I mean, the champ just doesn't look like it wins very often. I mean, statistically that's true in pro, but it feels like even with a lead, is worse than other champs in the game, in my opinion. Like, there's just like if you want early game dominance, there's just so many better champs that do it, right? If you want like better mid game, there's plenty of champs that do it better. If you want scaling late game, there's definitely champs that do that better. Like, it just doesn't feel like he's great when plenty of things outclass him in this early, like in the game right now. But Chobi been playing a pretty interesting build where it's the Shojin into quite a lot of like health stacking items. So, been working wonders. Caps played it today. Actually, was it Caps? Yeah, it was Caps. Caps played it today, so looked pretty good then. As yeah, overall, I don't know. I think Corky just not in a great spot when there's plenty of others, especially in like game one scenarios, right? As your pool gets like less and less, maybe I can see it, but realistically, I don't like it. But
Whoa!
solo
Gank
kill
in
in
the
the
mid
mid lane.
lane.
Yeah, gank in the mid lane. Excuse me, not even a solo kill. So flash used by Pantheon, but Kiba no flash himself already means he's just dead. So pretty quick, easy kill there in the mid lane. As a look at this bot lane poke, they haven't even backed yet.
Ooh,
Oh,
pot
oh
shot
my
and-
goodness!
The comet hits, but he doesn't go down just yet. So much damage going his way. A lot of damage going on Leona too. That's a lot of threat. Not enough to, get a kill just yet. That Quirky getting put out. If you look towards this top side now, that's an invade getting off, and Pantheon is clearly the target now. You see Hybrid on the chase onto Electra. The leap away is there, but a little pause seems to come out.
Yeah, just a little pause, but that's okay. They find an interesting top invade here as they're still kind of pressing it a little bit. Still want this. Smite is available here for Hybrid. Nice W. Still gets rooted up, though. Doesn't find the Smite. Electra playing very, very, very close to on the edge, but picks up their wolves. We'll be happy with that one, but also missed in the top side. Gragas forced to flash away under his tier 1. So it does not have
aggression. We were mentioning before how this pick can kind of just... It's the classic ranged versus melee sort of, debacle. That is, top laners can have pretty often. But then at that first kill, that flash into the grab, into just putting him in the dirt, was just really, really good there. And now he's just completely stuck. So I am, kind of hoping that there's some action in this top side, but it looks like they're trying to get bot side now, and they're posturing.
Yeah, they're posturing. Drake is up, but Pantheon gonna take the recall. Nico just showcasing what Nico can do, running around his minion there, wreaking havoc. As it actually looks like Nico is something once again. Not sure what that something is. Probably another minion. But it's fantastic that Walk is ahead here. In this top side on the Urgot. Means my concern about him being behind is kind of out of the question. Already almost halfway done with the Cole now. Looking fantastic on this top side, but still neither jungler willing to pick up this Drake. But problem on the horizon.
Oh, it looks like a dive's coming in from the Nefiri, but she does not get the Corki, and the arrow is barely... Corki's getting a little haircut right there. That mustache is a little bit shorter from that arrow right there, for damn sure. Ooh, close. Ah, man, that was... I was calling for a bit more, aggression in the top lane, but it seems like Nefiri wants something in the bot side, which it makes sense. Urgot's got... Gragas shoved into this tower, but it seems like the mid lane, there might be a little bit of action here. You see Pantheon kind of waiting in the wings here, but he doesn't see any opportunity, so he's just going to stroll on by and make it towards this bot side as this dragon is pulled, and it's about 2k now, going lower and lower. They don't see it just yet, and the dragon's getting low. 1,300, it's getting even lower. It looks like the smite comes down. Nefiri does secure it. And the chase is on. They stun out the Pantheon, and the Pantheon will get put down. Electra Heart. Their heart's being ripped out right there.
Yeah, I mean, see, the problem is I think realistically they shouldn't have played for that. Their bot lane not really in a position to contest. You did have the mid prio, but even then, As actually Flippin coming in from the top side. Walk. He's going to get belly bumped away there. Stops his aggression for a little bit. But Nico as a ward in this bot side. Actually, not, it's unironically kind of one of her worst transformations because of how slow your move speed is. So
It's funny though.
it is funny. It is funny. You know, we actually saw in a pro match last year someone pretending, but hold that thought. Potential solo kill coming out.
A lot of damage. You say solo kill, but I say we're coming down and we're coming to help the boy. Purple needs some help here. Purple is going to be seeing purple because the stuns are put on him, and that's the set, you know, the put down right there. I don't know if you see purple when you die, but you saw purple for sure.
Looks like Nefiri might want in on this top side. Can't get belly bumped out of the ultimate. But it is going to be an engage on the top side. Still no flash on the Gragas, but ultimate going to be used, and Gragas is going to go down there in that top side. So quick and easy trade back on that kill. One Grub did go the way towards the Bing Chillers, as looks like Grub's going to be restarted up here, except this time for Doggo. As so far, Doggo looking to be in a decent position here. 1.5k gold up. At 10 minutes, pretty minimal, but you'll take it. You're about to finish both these grubs. You did get the first dragon as well. Very close, but did get the first drake. Nefiri in a good spot as well this game. Silas, even though died early, has kind of made a comeback here. 1-1, only down. It won't actually be down if he perfectly CS's this as well in CS, so...
He did.
Also, this bot lane just seems very problematic. Poor Bang Chillers, right? Like, Poke Varus is actually putting out so much damage, right? Like, into the Corki. That's making it very difficult. And also going the standard Triforce tier build, which, like I said, has not been looking great, and that's what I see most.
You think it's just, well, what else would you go in that slot? Because, you know, it's the poke focus. You're looking to, you know, just take them down and whatnot. But what are you taking in that slot instead? Would you prefer to see from this Varus?
I mean, even, oh my, yeah, as another arrow there just landing. The biggest thing is, like, I really, really, really want to see, like, for Corki, like, I don't know, the Chovy build where you just build Shojin first and a bunch of HP items looking fantastic. Engage in the bot lane.
From the Leona, and Pantheon is here. Pantheon's looking to put some pain down, but the Nico ultimate comes in, stuns too. We'll see if the Varus gets out. He does not. Electrifies you and puts you down. But we're on the chase. We take another down. We take 2 down. We're looking to make it 2. Double kill for the Nefiri. The dog's on the hunt, and the Urgot's on the hunt. We're here, and we're looking to grab one, pull her in, and execute it. Purple picks up another. The mid lane falls. This is a huge bot lane rotation.
That's what I was talking about with the reflect. It's why Silas is so good into the Mel. Reflects back the chains and pulls herself into them, which is not a position you want to find yourself.
Bro executed so hard that he crashed his own game. Holy... I'm sorry.
Potentially.
Normally, I don't acknowledge that sort of thing when the pauses come out, but that is just too funny to not say that he just literally, he executed Mel, and then he DC'd him. He stopped moving, and so his game crashed. Like, that's the only thought I have about that. There is a brief pause, but while we have this little break right here, I'm sure you and I can talk through it. We've done this before. It is, we were talking about the Varus, and this is a replay coming through, actually, so we can kind of go over what exactly went wrong here for Bing Chillin'. It was just a huge engage to start out.
Pop Blossom. Yeah, Pop Blossom actually covers off so much space, forces Corki to walk back, which means they buy, like, Prey obviously does go down, but the Chains of Corruption roots all 3 of them because of how much time they needed to use on, like, to kill Prey. And Nefiri is here. Champion is not balanced whatsoever. Corki just goes down pretty easily. And, but yeah, look at this. And the reflex shield just pulls her back in, as I mentioned, in draft, and she has nowhere else to go, already utilizing the flash. Fear Beyond Death. Makes that one a quick and easy one, as he's going to disconnect here in just a second. Disconnects right here. So.
Yeah, no, literally, he gobbles her up and then DCs. Like, that is so funny. Oh my god. I just, man, that is so goofy. I I mean, this Urgot. We talked about the Urgot and how how volatile that lane could be, but we've seen the Pantheon up there once, and they did take him down, I believe. But I want to see more. We got to. This guy's getting a super accelerated start. As we do hop back in the game, you won't get to see our pretty faces for much longer. But this accelerated start, we got to slow him down.
Gotta find something, some way to slow him down. Be it a Pantheon gank, or be it maybe even putting Mel to just stall out the lane so he can't push. I don't really know, but the biggest thing there is Walk utilizing the TP, whereas X-Ray just did not, right? Like doesn't utilize the teleport, and it's a 5v4. Obviously, I think the play still goes down the way it does, even without his TP there, but still something to point out is TP differences can mean stuff. Is big damage coming into the mid lane actually from the Sylas. The biggest thing though is this mid game spike from Doggo is going to be quite strong. Like Varus is doing pretty well on the lane. He's actually up a lot of CS. Because of just how much poke he's been able to land onto Haoyun on that Corki. As Drake number 2 spawning up here, doesn't look like there's going to be a contest.
Looks like it's just going to be, shredded real easily here. Nefiri is finally on the way, and so is the bot lane. The reset does not come through, but that is a gigantic pop blossom, and Nefiri comes in, and Nefiri rips him to shreds. We're using those dog teeth, and we're ripping through, taking him down. We do get the Drake if we're Bing chilling, but we're doing anything but Bing chilling right now. Big damage from the Mel, but it's not enough. Put down some more. That's 3 dead.
I mean, they get the Drake. That's pretty nice, I suppose, but realistically, getting the Drake is not going to make up for the plate gold you're about to miss. And also the kills that went the way. Nefiri 4-0-4 now. Sylas 3-1-1. What an excellent pop blossom from Chimi here. Really well played by her. But yeah, that was just a disgusting pop blossom.
Look at this though. It's 4 he had 4 people there.
Yeah.
We got a replay coming through soon. It is a gigantic pop blossom. They come in a little late to this dragon, and then you just see it once this replay comes through. Give it a moment. Hang on. Give it a moment. There we go.
Yeah, so here we are. Look at this. Just as a Nefiri dog, pretends to be Nefiri and just hits Thorman. It's just so well played. Even though it goes down here with the Golden Eclipse, doesn't really matter. Just did the Nico job. That's why you pick Nico. Exactly. Moments like that. And very decisive fight coming in for Doggo here. That, again, is just the strength. It's simply just the strength of this Nico champion. Especially being able to, like, the double synergy of you can hide as a Nefiri dog makes it even better. Because you might just think it's just Nefiri, but in reality, it's Nico waiting to get a pop blossom just like that onto your team. Sets them up for success. Gold lead 6k now. Just under that, actually. So they're in a very good spot right now. Urgot just finished up that first item. Cole almost finished. Varus working towards his second item now. But like Nefiri, Sylas, both kind of unanswered right now, it feels like, for Bing Chillers. They do have the CC to get punish these picks, but not coming together at the moment.
Pantheon is bot side here, while this Rift Herald is just being taken easy peasy by the Nefiri, and they're zoning everybody else out. I mean, right now, Doggo just has control, I think, off of the back of the Doggo, right? And Pantheon took 2 tower shots. And unfortunately, that means he's just not going to be able to do anything more. He was really trying for that, but I'm sure that Kaiba Boy was just knew that something was up. He was the only play, so he made sure to play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, cleared out the wave, so really can't dive there. So really excellent play, and heads-up play as well. Very kind of important, because if he does go down there, right, I was just talking about, like, they don't really seem to have an answer, but if he gets shut down goes to, like, something like Mel. Could be a bit problematic, but playing it safe. Doggo looking very good in this game so far. I'm actually very impressed. A little worried about just how volatile, especially that top lane could be, but I guess if Walk is just gonna walk X-Ray like this in the top side, it doesn't really matter. As also Prey expanding the gold lead and the CS lead every single minute as Nico turning into a minion here already. Blue buff going to be taken away by the Fury there in the jungle. Not much to see, but still Prey in a very good spot. Up 2 levels now on the Corki as well. And Corki, once again, showcasing my bias towards the champion at the moment. As, yeah, really not a good look, especially the arrow hits. Yeah, just so much damage going through.
He's just getting junked right here. And I love the minion just doing loop-de-loops right now. I know it's not the minion, but it is really goofy looking. You see the level up above its head and everything. But now we have this spot where you're kind of desperate to get farm onto somebody who can, you know, do something, right? And where do you... Obviously, the shutdowns are one thing, but... where do you want these big banks of money to go? Do you want to just go Corki, or do you want it to go to the Mel, or is there somebody else?
I mean, realistically, you probably want to try and carry through Mel at least for a little bit here. Corki's just too far behind, has no CS really. Even the tier stacking going, like, he's basically just barely ahead of Varus, and Varus doesn't stack tier very well. Which is just not a great look, obviously, on the Corki. But Herald will secure this one. They are going to drive it away. And
car time. I think we're just going right to bot side, or we're moving it down just to, you know, get it into a spot. Do we hit the wall? No, we don't. We drop it off right in time. And Leona taking a bit of damage here, but they were looking for a catch, but they didn't find one. Now we see this top lane has been, you know, largely abandoned because we're posturing, but we get a grab. X-Ray gets grabbed. The Pop Blossom grabs one, but we're grabbing, we're pulling, we're dashing in, and we're getting so many. And we execute one, gobble her down. There goes Allie, and there goes the Pantheon. We're on the hunt, on the chase. Hybrid carry takes down one, and another will follow right after to Prey. And you're going to need to pray because we're heading down to this Drake and extending our lead even further.
So it is going to be the Cloud Soul this game, which is very scary. But we are going to get the replay there coming through right now. So basically this starts off, doesn't really look that impressive coming in from the Nico. Pop Blossom only hitting one, but they just have so much more gold. And also, I do want to point out, X-Ray did interrupt the ultimate coming out of Hybrid there, but it doesn't mean anything. And they just lose very handedly, thanks to the gold gap. But once again, right, if you're going to pick Corki, you just can't, like, you basically have to play so much better than your opponents. I'm just convinced you just have to play better. You have to be up in CS. You have to be winning for it to look good. And right now, 0-3-1, 123 CS at almost 20 minutes, looking completely shut out of this game. Nefiri just doesn't care. Yeah, more damage. Like, has basically eaten all of Prey's arrows at this point. Prey does need to be mindful here. Has both sums, though. But Doggo find themselves in a very, very good position, like I mentioned earlier, to completely take over the game thanks to their snowball. I mean, their comp is just so good at snowballing as well that I don't know if Bing Chillers are going to be able to find a way to slow them down.
I mean, realistically, I think you just got to try to grab one of these bounties. I don't think Nefiri is going to be the target you go for unless you get like a miracle grab on her, right? You have to find her alone, and none of her teammates are there to help her, and you've got like 4 or 5 people there. You've got to try to find a pick, though, because that pick that gets you one of these bounties will, you know, help you get back into the game. Try to get it on the Mel, right? The Mel, getting a little bit of that gold boost, get her back into it, so then she can help out her teammates to get back in. It's just, like you said, this Corki is kind of just shut out of this game completely, and that's really, really not great. You know what's not great as well? Getting pop blossomed and locked down. You are unstoppable, Kaiba boy, and that is... Ooh, another pick. And look at this Varus. Varus is literally just walking at you and gunning you down. We're looking to catch you with that rocket belt. We're not going to catch you with the chains. Doesn't matter. We'll slow you down. We'll pound you down. Chain strike, lockdown, Corgi ultimate stolen. Not even needed to be used. We're dominating now.
Yeah, they're kind of just walking down mid lane and winning every single time. So the game basically looking quite dire for the Bing Chillers here. Atacon also going to be secured up here from Doggo. Doggo not taking any risks, basically. And yeah, we're getting a replay of this in mid. They actually choose to engage on the Varus. This guy is 4 levels up on you, Ali. I'm not sure you want to take that, but your Corki also just doesn't really do much. As still, Grand Starfall coming out. Kiba.
They're looking for something, that miracle play, but Kiba lives through it. We'll be able to slip away. That would have been a huge bounty, but we're looking to make another huge move here. Can we take somebody down?
Oh.
We do finally shut down the Urgot. We shut down another one, and that will be the Nico getting shut out. No shutdown bounty for her, but we're looking at the Nefiri now. We've gotten the pick we're looking for, but is this the in we need, or do we need to get out? Looks like we're just going to have to get out because we can't get anything more, but that one shutdown is good, and it went to the target we wanted it on. It went to Mel.
Yeah, I mean, right now it basically just needs to be the Mel show. Everyone else kind of just supporting cast to the Mel until this Corki can scale up, which admittedly is going to be a while. Even in tier stacks as well, it's not ideal with the Varus, but regardless, 2 shutdowns for the Mel is going to be fantastic and be feeling very good about it. Has the Shadow Flame picked up now, working towards some needlessly large rod item, either be it like Zanya's or the Death Cap. Probably going to be the Death Cap though, so for me, I don't know. It still looks really bad for Bing Chillers, but there's a world where Mel can just pull the Mel show, but Poke Varus is going to make that very hard because 2 items completed. Working on the 3rd. Just gonna make life so miserable for the Bing Chillers if they ever try to step up around anywhere. And obviously, Soul Point is spawning in for them as well here in 30 seconds. So they probably need to give this one. I don't think there's a world they're ever winning it if they fight it. It would need to be a miracle fight basically for them to win. But they need to find something else, and it looks like they were going to try and contest at the very least in the bot side.
Look at this fight, though. A little bit of a brawl, poke fest back and forth, but nobody taking any significant damage right there. I feel like the most damage that's being taken right now is in this top side, and it's really not much. Hybrid carry, though, able to avoid a ton of damage that's being thrown his way. And the Mel, trying to avoid even more. Looks like she was able to reflect some, but not able to get any, big hits on. This Cloud Drake being pulled way out of the pit now. But this engage on the right side, and that is a lot of damage, a lot of lockdown, and we're putting down the Silas. Another bounty in the pockets, this time of the Pantheon. But we're not looking to chase just yet. We're waiting. We're biding our time until we can find something more. The Mel, though, putting a little bit of poke. Look at Kaiba Boy. He is so low here. That's not Kaiba Boy. That's Nico. I'm lying to you. I almost got baited.
Yes, speaking of getting baited, they need to be careful about the Nico wraparound.
The teleports are up from the top laners, though, so they could come in, and it looks like one of them is coming in. We're looking to go in, though, and that's a Leona. Leona could take a ton of damage. We're looking for Nico to get in there and get some damage in. Not enough damage just yet, and the bounty is secured by the Corki, and the Corki wants to get out of there. The team wants to get out of there. X-Ray is going to be the sacrificial lamb. By sacrificial lamb, I mean sacrificial Gragas. Looks like we're getting in. Hybrid carry wants in, wants more. We take Leona down, but we're going to sacrifice ourselves for it. Mel getting a gigantic bounty.
Not sure that was worth it. They pick up the Drake as well and the bounty there. I'm surprised that Jimmy didn't go over the wall with Flash, but yeah, we're coming back with a replay here. They are going to pick up the mid-tier too, so at the very least, not too bad, but Bing Chillers realistically here, even like a bit before this, right? I think Jimmy could have maybe pulled the trigger a little earlier, but a little too scared to pull the trigger. They get the Drake. Pop Blossom only hits the Gragas here. And Urgot not really having too much impact. Obviously, you do lose the Gragas. Unfortunate, but honestly, you'll take it, especially with what happens after the fact. Hybrid does manage to kill a Leona, but the shutdown going the way towards the Mel, right? It is basically Mel v9 right now. And giving away that much gold means Rabadon's is just straight up picked up after that fight.
Right there, too. I think it was just I go in here and then I get out. That's what they thought was going to happen. And the gold lead, just with that Mel being there and all this, I feel like was just so... You really tried to bite off more than you could chew, and I get it that you're a dog and you're hungry and you just eat, you know, but like, come on, man. That's a real difficult, you know, sort of situation to put yourself and your team in now, because you've got this Mel who is essentially gigantic. That death cap being finished now is really puts her in a good spot. But we're speaking of good spots, we're still in a pretty good spot if we're Doggo. We got about 5K, 5.9K in the lead, give or take. Or excuse me, it's about 5.9, give or take. And we have a bit of time to posture around this Baron. We're looking to possibly set up for a fight. But here we have this sort of... Corki is getting back into the game. He is still very behind the CS. What exactly are we trying to do to get this Corki back now that this Mel show is still going on?
I mean, realistically, he's got items now to where he is a threat. So can just look to basically play to finish or just do as much damage as possible for Mel to, like, so they can get into execute range for the Mel. But big thing here is even with those wins, they just have such a lack of control around the map that walking forward could be a complete death sentence. X-Ray going to utilize the trinket there to face check that bush. But still a very scary position for Bing Chillers here. As Baron, only thing up for Doggo to take. Won't say they necessarily do it the fastest. The biggest, one interesting thing about Neferi is you can solo Baron at any point of the game. Because of your flip resets plus your W, you can essentially solo it completely by yourself, not even realistically get low. It's a very popular thing to do with the champ. So it does take a while, but you still need to be aware of the fact that that can happen. So that's why there's so much pressure being added onto that top side of the jungle. But Ali,
a little bit of damage going their way, but doesn't seem like much more. I say that as we get rooted down, popped up, popped down. Prey gets the kill for himself, and it looks like Baron is exactly what we want, exactly what we need. Neferi doesn't need to solo it this time because our boys are here. Urgot on the zone, so we'll see if there's any contention from Bing chillin'.
Okay, so the biggest thing here for me is they actually don't really have ultimates left. I wouldn't be surprised if Bing Chillers gave this one up because they're just a little too far behind, but I would have maybe liked to have seen them press the issue a little harder. Again, Doggo used basically all their important ults.
Oh, this is looking like it's dangerous. It's dangerous for this Nico because Nico goes down. And there might be a little bit more engaged. The Grand Starfall is up, but are we looking to get in just yet? That's a huge amount of damage from the Varus, though. Absolutely slicing through the two damage dealers of Bing Chillin'. It looks like Neferi wants in. Neferi gets gone on, but it doesn't seem like she's too dissuaded just yet. On the chase she is, and on the chase she goes. Her teammates are here, the boys are here, and the Urgot looking for the hook. He doesn't even need the hook because Hybrid takes that X-Ray. That's a big meal for her right there. Looking for more. The grab is good, and Kaiba Boy picks up another one. We're chasing down the Leona. We're putting down the Leona, and we're making sure we get some more kills for ourselves.
And, well, Pogue Forest remaining very strong in this game. We saw just how much damage he was able to put out there onto the carries before that altercation even happened. A really solid patience coming out of Doggo there, and Bing Chillers press a little too hard and pay the price, potentially with their Nexus. Looks like they aren't going to end just yet. Flash forward, actually.
Flash forward from the Pantheon looks for this Varus, but can we get the Varus? We do not. We don't want to over-aggress, though. I mean, I feel like... I don't know. I feel like there's been a distinct lack of Grand Starfalls this game.
You'd be right, and one of the big things in draft, right, when you're thinking about playing Pantheon, he's really good in comps when you have strong side lanes, but realistically, like, you don't have that. Like, you don't have those strong side laners, right? You can't really hover around mid and then play around your bot side. to force a 2v2 or something. Like, you just don't really have strong side laners this match to really play around, and obviously didn't really find that much success in the earlier stages of the game because his team lost so hard. That not necessarily his fault there, but something to mention, as realistically holding a siege against Poke Varus is going to be very difficult for their comp, as they really kind of lack great go buttons. As yeah, look at this poke damage.
Yeah, that's dangerous right here. What is also dangerous is getting caught out alone. The Zonia's is burned, but we're looking to get a bit more safe. Even more damage, even more CC puts down the Nico, and Nico goes away, but there's a ton of damage from this poke Varus. We launch the back, and there's the starfall we've been looking for, but who will fall this time? It doesn't look like the stars are aligning for them just yet. Too much damage goes from that Varus and puts down the Pantheon. We're on the chase, though. Urgot takes down the turret on the top side. In the meanwhile, we're distracting, buying so much time. Leona gets the reset off, but I don't think she's stopping Urgot by herself. Everybody else is out. We're going to get at least the inhib top side.
What's sad is they couldn't even find the Nefiri kill. If they find the Nefiri kill, it's not too bad, but they're going to lose their bot T2. They lost their top T2 and top T3, and their inhib. Ruki's going to be able to safely pick up this mid wave. But still, imagine that fight if Doggo was 2k gold less ahead. That's it. That's all it takes. And realistically, that 2k gold is just sitting on this Varus, right? Compared to your Corki. They come so close to victory. So close. Even with that mid play is pretty close, just unable. They just don't have the damage right now to realistically find a lot of kills. Again, it's really just the Mel show at the moment. Even with like Corki on 3 items, Varus basically full slotted now. Needs one more item to complete, and right now it's a control ward. So Varus so far ahead comparatively to the Corki. It's just so absurd. Doing so much poke damage as well. And even with, like, Chimi getting caught out there, she bought herself enough time to get back to her team, so it wasn't a complete disaster for them. Would have liked to maybe see out the Pop Blossom to at least stall them down a little bit, but didn't utilize it. And ultimately still does go down, so it is a decent win for Pink Chillers, but kind of getting squeezed out from this match, Valve. I don't know if there is a way, but hold that thought. Grand Starfall coming in.
Starfall comes in, but we go to the bot side to answer this Urgot. But that means Doggo wants to go in the mid lane. The Rocket Belt isn't enough to catch this Gragas, but we're looking to buy some time so we can get ourselves the Urgot. We want out, though, but will we get chased in? It looks like we're on the chase. We're going to get ourselves in there, and the Nefiri's looking to rip and tear. Those jaws are sharp, and we take down the Mel, and the Mel show is over because of her demise. We take down the Pantheon, and we're looking for these turrets.
I mean, they might just straight up look for the Nexus. That's kind of like the only biggest threat for them was the Mel. One tower already very low. One auto attack will do it. As, yeah, they are looking to potentially end here. Solar Flare stolen away for Kiba.
Looks like they are trying to posture for this end right now. We walk in, we're going to get this turret, and then we can get the other one. This is an easy, like, one basic attack away, like you said. But it looks like they were trying to keep up a fight here. Bing Chillin is not going to give this up freely. We have to stop them. The Leona forces the Zonias from Kaiba Boy. But the stun out, the root down, and the pop away from... Oh my goodness, that was just so much damage. 2 of them explode. We chase into the fountain as the Nefiri. We get the shutdown, but your Nexus gets shut down. And that is a win for Doggo.
Well, the Doggo wins for Doggo. Corki once again losing the match that I'm casting. So I don't get the point of the pick. There's just so many better things here for your champ, like in your champ pool, I'd imagine, that you could play. That at any stage, right, of any stage of the game, there's just a better champ than Corki is. He's just not in a great spot right now, but team's still opting. But look at the damage difference. Varus comparatively to the Corki.
Yeah, that is a gigantic difference.
And you got so far behind bot, right? Like, Pantheon can't really bail out your lane. Your top lane is just there to neutralize out the Urgot, who went down early, which is unfortunate, right? You gave the Urgot a lead, but realistically, it's not like the Urgot really made or break the game. It was basically just Varus and Silas completely tearing open the game. Also, Chimmy off of a fantastic Pop Blossom around that dragon as well. Poor man. Props to her for that play, but realistically, I think back to the drawing board here for the Bing Chillers, because Corki just did not work. Just did not work.
The Corki really left us wanting. Whereas there were really bright spots, but I felt like that really just came off the back of the mail. And we neutralized top lane, but we also got solo killed within the first 5 minutes, which is really rough, unfortunately. But we can turn it around. We go back to the drawing board. We draw something up. We come back in. We're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere too far. Maybe get yourself a drink to enjoy these games. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Titan Esports League Olympus. And I'm not a Valve game, joined by Aussie. We've got Doggo versus Bing Chillin. Last game, we were talking about what we were kind of left wanting by some of the picks, but also pretty impressed by some of the other ones. What do you want to see change?
Well, I mean, I think they need to have a bit more dominance in the bot lane. Basically, just getting rolled over by Varus, like poke Varus single-handedly, is not really the move. Because not like realistically, the Nico had that much of like play in the bot side. Is yeah, I don't know. We are getting into the draft here, but in the lane, Nico really didn't have that much impact. It's just Varus 1v2, just poking both of them down by himself. So hopefully a bit more comfortability here for the Bing Chillers and some better picks. Means they're going to be able to put themselves in a favorable position.
As you see on the bottom of your screen here, the fearless draft means that any picks played in the last game are no longer on the table. So that quirky, that problem you had with it will no longer be showing up. But it looks like this time we're going to be seeing, some usual picks not showing up anymore. I don't know if they banned the Nocturne last time, did they? I don't think they did.
I don't think it was banned, so could be wrong about that though. But that is okay. Talia staying the same.
And so is the Zen Zhao.
A lot of jungle bans, yeah, a lot of jungle bans coming through.
Looks like they're trying to prioritize a bit differently this time. I mean, with how Hybrid kind of ran the lobby pretty well last time, so we've got pretty strong. I'm not surprised to see some jungle bans taken away from him. And you see the Smolder taken away now, and that's just a interesting first pick.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Lucian was their ban instead of Nocturne, but they pick it now. So that's fine. I think Lucian's in a good spot. They're going to answer with Kai'Sa instantly. So maybe a bit of preparedness for this one, but Kai'Sa does struggle into lane bullies quite a bit. Hecarim going to be the answer here for Electra, which, hey, I mean, if it works, fantastic. For me, I've always been a little bit biased towards Hecarim in competitive play, but starting to wane off that a little bit now. I've been reached out to with some potential guidance about the Hecarim in comp and some of his values. So it's going to be the Volibear answer, though. Will Hecarim be able to find a way into the jungle of Volibear? That's to be determined, and I'm not sure he wants to be there in the first place.
I feel like he's just going to get mauled if he shows up there. Volibear. Granted, I'm not too knowledgeable on the matchup, but knowing what I do about these characters, I feel like Volibear kind of just puts him in the dirt if he catches them like early on. After a certain point, Hecarim will just be able to run away, but it is dangerous for sure. As we see top laners being the targets of the bans here, Alawi and Aatrox. We'll see what the follow-up ban is, but two sort of brawly top laners taken away.
Yeah, more walk champions. Yeah, walk champions basically just being banned out here for Bing Chillers, which is all right. Curious what's going to be played in the mid lane here, though. Both bot lanes already locked in. Nautilus support going to be the answer into the Lucian Nami. A little apprehensive off what happened last game, but pairs well with the Kai'Sa. They're going to opt to keep their mid counter pick alive with that Renekton lock-in. So some confidence here on the Renekton after a pretty mid showing on the Gragas. Gonna be answered with the Jax, though.
I mean, the Jax does provide another sort of brawly aspect to this lane. I don't know exactly how well this matchup is for the Renekton, but we see LeBlanc picked up for the mid lane this time, and we'll see what the answer is by Bing Chillin here. But tell me, how do you feel about this composition from Doggo? Syndra.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be Syndra there, but I don't know. Doggo's comp is very mid-gamey, so they have that a lot of power spike coming through in the mid-game. LeBlanc after her buffs seems quite good. Not entirely sure how well she's performing competitively after her buffs, because, it's not picked that often. But she's looking quite strong. Syndra also in a pretty good spot, so kind of just comes down to whether or not Syndra is allowed to scale in the lane, or if the pressure from Kiba Boy is strong enough. Now, Kiba Boy did die first in the lane last time to a gank, so it does need to avoid that.
It seems like we're gonna have to see if that's, you know, same level of aggression is there, and even on the top side, the first blood going into the pocket of Warlock. But we'll see that as we head into game this time. I wanted to kind of highlight this. We talked about the jungle matchup, right? The Volibear and the Hecarim. You seem very apprehensive about it. We kind of talked about it a little bit here, but give me a summary. How exactly does this matchup go?
Well, Hecarim, more stereotypically a level 6 jungler. Level 6 jungling is pretty popular right now anyways. But Invade coming through. I do like this. Hook's not going to find anybody, and they're just immediately going to back up. So, potentially worried about a stack, or might re-enter somewhere else. They will see this duo do the exact same thing that they did last game. Find a ward on this top side. And it will be answered in kind. That's what I like to see. I like these little early game vision wars that go on. Just to see where the jungler's starting. But as for the Volibear Hecarim matchup, I think Volibear realistically should probably outclear him early. But Hecarim going to be more than fine to just farm up his jungle. Hit 6, look for gank opportunities. But also, one thing about Hecarim is he can do these like weird level 3 ganks as well. That does happen, but I don't know. I think realistically, right? I think Electra probably better off just farming till 6, and hopefully Volibear doesn't find any angles to get active early.
I mean, if you are this Volibear, where exactly are we getting active?
I mean, if you're gonna get active, right? I think bot lane's a perfect opportunity here. Looking on something like the Kai'Sa's, it's pretty immobile. Even Nautilus can be a great opportunity. Also, could just look to get your Jax ahead in the side lane. Like, already see a pretty decent lead here coming in for Walk. Already has that level 2. Obviously going to be evened out as soon as these creeps go down. But still need to be mindful. X-Ray going to miss quite a bit of the CS in the top side, but
yeah,
still... I mean, Volley has really good ways to gank this game. Can gank top. Mid is a little hard thanks to the Scatter of the Weak, but if you hit chains with that LeBlanc, can keep her rooted in place. Counter-Strike on the level 3 timer, but X-Ray still chilling in the top side. As also, I think, like, realistically, really nice trade from X-Ray, actually. Talking about him struggling, but...
clean trade. I mean, I do want to point this out that the purple is Warlock. I mean, there was a bit of a confusion before, but purple is Warlock. It's just like a name change, to my knowledge. So it is just a, you know, little name change. I am, you know, looking at a bit of a situation here. You see this now. The Volibear getting involved and getting a first blood. Easy peasy right there.
Bitch. Yeah, very, very quick and clean. Pretty easy on that one. As, you know, you take what you can get. Like I said, top lane might be a potential angle. They find it quick and early there. As, yeah, overall, really, really solid play. But gank in the bot lane coming down now.
A lot of damage going into both of the bot laners here, but it looks like Lucian is getting the better end of it. Not getting the better end of it now because of all this damage going his way. A little bit of healing is going to keep him topped off and a little bit safe now. Back away does Bing chilling, and they're going to be careful now. They know that Volibear isn't anywhere near just yet, but they got to be cautious.
Yeah, Walk still has yet to take his reset here. So, doing quite well, though, in the lane. Kind of unexpectedly. Usually Jax loses these early levels. You are on a ward alley. You do know now, thanks to the auto attack from Prey, but overall, still, and the fact being Chillers couldn't find a kill back in the bot lane is really, really tragic for them. They didn't even force Prey to flash away either, so nice Counter-Strike dodge as X-Ray. Pressuring away at this top side. I think overall, playing really, really well. In this matchup, obviously did die to that gank, but still asserting the dominance. But also, Jax is yet to back, so that might change as we get back back to lane. Sheen picked up, and the dagger picked up here.
Drake is being gone on by Volibear. See this now on the bot side. There is going to be a little bit of a, Drake right here. No contention just yet. Are they aware of it? I don't know if they are, but now that they see the bot lane rotating out, I'm sure that they will, at least have an idea. But there's no contest. I don't think the Hecarim's are remotely interested in trying to contest this.
Yeah. I mean, just farm up. Really no reason to... Like, your bot lane is weaker than theirs. Right now, level advantage for the LeBlanc in the mid lane. Walk going to get a very deep board here, potentially. Does place that one. So, able to walk back top. But, yeah, the big thing here is... For the Bing Chillers, you need to just be patient. Wait for 1 or 2 items here to come across so you have enough damage to kill targets. Don't overpress into something that's so heavily mid-game favored for Doggo here, because they have Volibear, they have LeBlanc, they have Lucian. You do not want to be in a position where you're forcing fights early and getting punished because you're taking those early fights. And then putting yourself in a position where basically last game, right? You take a bad fight and game's essentially over from that point. Need to keep that in mind, but mid gank. Just gonna force a flash. Rookie stays alive for now. A lot of pressure though. A lot of pressure. 3 people here for that mid play. Electra though.
It's a little bit of aggression here, trying to get the invade out. Electra getting some couple of those raptors, but it looks like an engage is coming through now. The horseman rides, and the horseman wants blood. Taking down the Nami is the Kaiser.
Good roam. And, I was talking about fear, but when you have level advantage, Dominus used up in the top lane. Doesn't find anything, but yeah, I was talking about needing to worry about some mid-game, early-game stuff happening from Doggo, but level advantage for Electra against Hybrid. They can kind of press their advantage a little bit. Had bot lane roam up as well, so they had the numbers. Quick, clean, easy kill onto the fish of Chimi there. Unfortunately, she's the victim of trying to defend the chickens there. Colin coming out.
Looks like that was just, a good deal of damage, and now a good deal of damage following back in. This Nautilus is feeling the pain real quick and real good. That is a kill going to the Lucian, evening up the kills in this bot lane.
Yeah, Lucian getting ahead also not great. Not great for Pink Chillers.
He's already got such a massive CS lead.
Yeah, I mean, this happened last game too, right? And it just kept growing and growing and growing. So need to keep our eyes on the CS there to see if that's staying true into this match. There's another pause coming through, potentially just a DC, which happens. Seems to be potentially walk DCing again. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of just waffling about that. Not sure. But unpause coming through. As, yeah, realistically... yeah, realistically, look at this here. As just... Oh, Nami can't do anything. Like, really nice ultimate.
She is just dead.
yeah. Really nice ultimate coming through from Electra there. To also make sure there was no play as well. Basically, force people away, thanks to the fear, but a little spectator pause as Grubs on the cards for Doggo.
Looks like they are trying to contest it, but Lucian is putting some pot shots into the... That was the LeBlanc, not the Lucian, but LeBlanc is getting ridden on right now. We're looking to go ride in and get aggressive, but the Hecarim doesn't burn the ultimate yet because I don't believe it is up. May not be, but looks like the Grubs are being reset. One of them was claimed, it seems, but the other 2 are being reset now. Hecarim picking up another one for him and his boys. X-Ray trying to pick up this next one. But it's going to take a little bit of time. Seems like the teams don't want to just hand them away, but now that I say that, walk it away.
They walk away. Being chillers, pick up 2 there. So, happy with that outcome. Big thing is LeBlanc's just too low to really help there, so they don't want to chance it. Doggo showing a lot of restraint in these 2 matches so far. Really, really enjoy what they're doing. And respect their shot calling quite a lot here. As that level of restraint, right? Usually we see teams just straight up coin flip the game and pray to God that they win there, but they just give it up. Not worth losing the game over, especially because your mid laner basically in a position and forced back. Scatter the Weak used early to clear up the wave, but trade's not going to mean too much. Is this just going to be a back coming in from rookies? Also going to be the Rod of Aegis built on that Syndrome.
Well, you mentioned the mid game in particular from Doggo being so strong, right? Once we hit that point, though, it looks like we're trying to hit that point sooner. We get a stun onto this Nautilus. We're getting even more damage. Volibear looking to put some more in, but the shield is good, and so is the pull away. Electra walking around this corner trying to get this ward, but I don't think he knows exactly how much is there. He does now, and he knows the wave is there. The right away is good, but the Nautilus is not looking too good himself. He gets 1 pluck, though. He pulls in the Volibear. Hybrid carry having to run away just now. But the Lucian, the culling is here, and you will be culled, claiming 1 and a feat for himself.
Well, Lucian pressing the lead even farther here. Picking up another easy kill. And just the mid-game strength coming through for Doggo. X-Ray taking a pretty bad trade here on the top side. Using up another nice trade coming from Walk.
I thought he might have died there.
As they're just trading everywhere. They just straight up dive. They straight up dive. Hao Yun in the bot side on Kaisa with barrier and killer instinct. And they still find the kill. And it looked like Prey was tanking there. Just watch this. Watch how this comes through on this replay. Yeah, just crazy how it doesn't matter. 1 more auto, but thanks to the barrier, make sure he lives. Really nice bubble from Shimi there as well. To make sure Kaisa, because that would have been 2 more auto attacks basically. That would have basically traded 1 for 1. So really, really great like bubble to save Prey, but Bing Chillers once again getting themselves in a very sticky situation in this bot side. Where Lucian 3-0-0 has boots now finished. Gonna pick up a very large wave to once again give himself a nice CS lead here.
This is 15, give or take. I don't math. 25? No. 15, I feel like sounds more right. No, I'm an idiot. No. Yes, I'm right. I don't math.
That's fine. We're casters. We don't have to be math majors. I mean, you are a history major, so.
I almost have a master's in that, so you can ask me a history question, but not League of Legends history. I don't know that much.
Oh,
anyway,
okay. I was about to rip one. I was about to say,
Listen,
oh, that's fine. There is nothing going on realistically here, so I just fear for Bing Chillers. Yeah, a lot of farming as I speak about nothing going on, and still really nothing because
did he put a thumbs up when he missed the hook? That's actually pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know if he did, but that is really, really funny if he did. It's like, okay, great. The gank's over. Goodbye. I mean, you see the Scuttle Crab going a hybrid carry, but right now, you have this sort of... Bing Chillin doesn't want this to get any worse, right? The Nautilus trying to get the hook there. You see the dash and the Lucian is just shredding through this Kaisa. What can she do in this situation other than just receive all that damage? I don't know. It's just...
I mean, she did block forward auto attack. She could have just walked away, but opted to try and trade. Finds out that Lucian does mean business, and he's basically already back to full health thanks to Nami healing, so...
The classic.
They do need to be mindful. Culling coming through.
You say mindful, but the only thing he's minding is the damage he's doing right now. Volibear coming in, and this dive is coming through. We're disabling the tower with the Stormbringer, but do we even need to? The big shutdown is good, though. The trade 1 for 1. I think that's in favor of Hao Young.
I mean, you're going to take that for sure. Big shutdown. Polybear not there. Like, I mean, just a little over aggressive. Really, realistically, just wait for volley.
Too soon. Yeah, too soon.
I mean, honestly, also Prey could have waited for barrier there. Would have bailed him out again against the tower shot. Would have been very tragic for
How
Haoyun,
many
but
seconds was it until barrier was up?
very, very few. It might have been up, to be honest. He might have not thought, but Ruki's gonna be
Oh.
okay thanks to Roa. Top gank though.
Top gank on the side, but we pop the ultimate and we start going in. Speaking of going in, we got the bear here. We're looking to put some damage down. The volley bear getting the shielding, but a lot of damage is going into this Jax, but even more CC is going into X-Ray, and X-Ray's taking a lot of pain, but Hekrum's in, and Hekrum gets put back into the dirt. Nautilus has come just to see his boy die, and they're out.
What is happening for the Pink Chillers? Disaster after disaster, essentially. This will be the Herald going towards Pink Chillers. Or, sorry, towards Doggo. Excuse me. Pink Chillers. Really, really, really. It feels like it's so far out of control. I mean, you're just gonna die as Kaisa here, I would imagine, unless you really outplay this. Killer Instinct.
Barrier comes down, and that's
Close.
That was very close. I thought that was way closer than I thought it was going to be. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we were saying, right now, Bing Chillin is kind of just in a real rough spot. You see these mid lanes in the top lane doing a ton of damage to each other, but it looks like we're getting the bitter of it if we're Syndra. LeBlanc barely slipping away.
To be fair, if she didn't build Roa, she'd actually kill there. If she built like Luden's Blackfire Torch, that 100% kills, but doesn't have the damage right now. 5 stacks on the Roa. It's not that I necessarily hate the Roa this game, because you don't want to die to LeBlanc, or just like straight the mid game damage that they have, but it just feels wrong on something like Syndra is. Nautilus is gonna pick up the blue buff. Say, that's mine. I earned this. As yoinks that one away, but still, Bing Chiller's looking exactly like last game. They don't have an answer, it feels like. Just everything they try to do is perfectly answered, or like just barely doesn't go their way.
Well, we're talking about things going their way, and it looks like there's pain going their way. Pray. You can pray for salvation, but it will not come to you. The only thing that brings you peace is your death. Nautilus falls once more, and there's Drake on the chopping block.
Well, for sure going to be Drake number 3. Also a Hextech sold this game. Not great for Bing Chillers. They're going to have to find a way to scrap a fight on the next one. Because I don't see a world they win the game if they just fully give over Hextech Soul.
I mean, right
now,
now,
if they're the goats, you know, hey, like maybe they can, but it doesn't look like they have an answer.
they're getting aggressive though. They're looking to make an answer. They're making a call, but the call is trying maybe to a funeral home right now because one goes down. We're looking for another. The Syndra though is low, but a lot of damage goes into this Lucian, but the Lucian barely slips away with a sliver of health. Volibear brings the storm, but decides to leave.
Yeah, and thanks to the heal from Nami, he lives once more. It feels like the solution is getting away with absolute murder. Multiple times this game. Slipping away in the bot gag previously.
It really is.
Very low HP.
It really is. It's just kind of just, I don't know. We're allowing so much aggression on this bot side, and they're traditionally very aggressive. The Lucian Nami, a very aggressive lane, but I feel like we're just kind of permitting it. And is it just the jungle pick, the Hekrum not being able to answer it, or is it just a lack of initiative?
I mean, they drafted Kaisa into it. Like, they saw it and decided to draft Kaisa. Like, Kaisa is gonna get bullied, realistically, in the lane by Lucian Nami because of just how much damage he gets to do, comparatively to Kaisa, who does need items to scale. I mean, they did try to find something early. They just realistically didn't have the damage to keep going forward. Looked like also a little bit of split target calling there, because I think Ali went on Nami instead of the Lucian. Lucian still had flash in that entire play, by the way, that we're talking about. Like, he still had flash, so he was not dying there.
Yeah.
But like, it just feels so unfortunate for Bing Chillers because it's not even necessarily a bad look. just feels like their bot lane can't really get anything going, and they haven't been able to realistically the entire series. Because game 1 also not a good look.
No, it wasn't a good look. And right now, we're looking. What a good look would be is trying to shut down somebody here. I guess the prime target is this Lucian, but he's looking to put some targets down, shotting a bunch of shots at this target. Shotting? Bro, I'm getting paid to be here to say words. Damn. Anyway, this bot side turret goes down, and it looks like the Rift Herald may not be. No, is it going to be driven? No, they're driving it out. But it looks like it might be a crash here. It's very low, this Rift Herald. LeBlanc being able to get out of it in time. As Atacon spawns in, we're getting a reset out of Doggo.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they just didn't straight up take this before they backed. Because it doesn't feel like Being Chillers have an answer for anything. As speaking of answers, X-Ray.
Gonna need an answer right now because this Jax is putting in pain. And looks like Hekra may be the answer, slowing down the Jax, but the Jax is putting pain into him as well. X-Ray sticking around, though, trying to help out his boy. Make sure he gets the assist gold. Standing right by, making sure he gets that. But that is a decent kill right there. That starts it back up. But, I mean, I don't know if Hekrum's the ideal target. But, I mean, out of the two of them, what do you think?
I mean, you'll take anything at this point. Like, Bang Chillers need to find something. They are going to lose Atacon for this. They do find some bounty gold in the top side. I mean, realistically, they just don't have the damage to fight this. They don't have a damage to even face check this. They have no vision. So I'm not even pressed about the call. I think it's the best case scenario for them that they could have found. Get a kill, get some objective bounty gold. What can you do, right? Like, Atacon's gone for it, but potential trap being laid.
They're waiting for this Hecarim to walk towards his blue buff, and he's going on it, and it looks like the Nami wave is completely off the mark, but they don't even need it. You see how fast he's trying to go, but it's not fast enough. Lucian, his guns are faster, and he will put you down. Ali is taking so much damage, and Hybrid will make sure to cut him off and put him down.
Well, I thought it was going to be potentially Syndra getting caught out there, but it will be the Hecarim.
Speaking of Syndra, where has she been for the past, 10 minutes?
Hey, she's farming. She's farming up, okay? She's trying her best. She hasn't died, which is the biggest proponent.
Yeah.
In a match where there's 12 kills, I'd say that's pretty... you're kind of not doing your job and not dying. Syndra a bit more scaly now, thanks to her passive and stuff. So... honestly, I mean, I can't even blame Ruki's. Like, Ruki's last game played really well, and this game, he hasn't died in such an unfortunate spot, and no way we get caught out twice in a row. I was about to say, no way we get caught out to the essentially same play. Ali?
It's like we're trying to slow them down a bit, but it's a dance. It's a real awkward dance right now. Ali trying to lead the charge, though. He's waiting for this hook to come back up, but it looks like he's going to be caught out by himself. The boys have cut him off, but the flash is good to get him to safety for now. Last cone used, but the teleport in from the Renekton is met with a ton of damage. Rooted down, but not killed just yet. X-Ray getting the shots blocked, and LeBlanc will go down. Syndra finally getting some blood on her hands. Getting involved is this Hecarim, but maybe too involved as he gets put down by Purple. Purple, though, getting another kill for himself and looking to get some more. That is a shutdown on the Volley Bear, but it's not enough to shut him down because Lucian is here. The Gunslinger himself puts down some more. That's 4 kills. Kai'Sa on the run as we go for this Drake.
I mean, really, okay, so Kai'Sa dives in the back line towards, I believe, Hybrid. Yeah, we are going to get a replay, so I'm going to confirm that for you, as this will be taken up here for Doggo. I just need to look what Kai'Sa's doing here. Really nice Scatter the Weak stun. Completely insta-kills the LeBlanc. But look where my Kai'Sa is going instead of killing the real target of Lucian. Look how low Lucian gets here. If Kai'Sa is just hitting prey, he just dies. But instead, he's over here forcing himself into a 1v1 against the Volibear, which obviously not really that ideal, but Doggo narrowly avoid disaster here. And what could have been a turnaround fight for Bing Chillers, right? Like, just a horrible misplay.
I mean, I understand they're going for... They took the 1v1, they win the 1v1, but, Lucian dying there is a ton of gold, right? And that accelerates you to like it closes the CS gap a little bit, like artificially closes the CS gap, and it enhances you to get back, sort of caught up. But it looks like we're catching up again by catching people out. The Stormbringer comes down off the mark, but it doesn't matter because we're putting this Kaiser down. Kaiba boy putting one in his pocket. Looks like we might be trying to chase him out soon. A little slow down, but the culling is here, and we're looking to cull this Nautilus. Not enough just yet, but we get the
nice
stun,
bubble.
we get the knock-up. The bubble is huge, and Electra goes down, followed by X-Ray, followed by Rookies. It's a 4-man wipe, and Baron spawning in 3 seconds.
All right, I might catch some flame for this, but I feel bad for Rookies. Like, I feel like he's just jailed in this match. Like, he's trying his absolute hardest, and the rest of his team is just losing so hard.
Let me out.
So hard.
Banging on the windows.
Like, I just, like, Hunyun goes down there again, or Haoyun, sorry, excuse me. Haoyun goes down there once again. And for such a confident insta-lock answer of the Kaisa into Lucian that you saw that was B1'd, I just expected a bit more, right? Like, obviously you're going to lose lane, but is losing it this hard what you want to do? But replay coming in here, just no way he can play. Has no summoner spells.
How can play? Like, that is brutal.
And yeah, just coming off of this, right? They have a decent collapse here. Nice Scout of the Week cancels out the culling to keep Ali alive. But the bubble just barely catches Electra. And a nice counter-strike. Double stun up here. Rookies does at least turn this one back around as he's dying. So he does pick up a kill, but I just feel bad for Rookies. Like, Rookies trying his absolute best here. And it's just nothing to be given from his team at the moment in this match. Looking a little outclassed is the rest of Big Chillers.
I mean, right here, you have to put yourself in a spot where this Lucian's gotta die, right? That's just that's the answer to the question they're asking. Lucian dead. And how are you doing it, though? It's so difficult to kill this guy, it seems. You had one opportunity, but you ended up going on Volibear with the Kai'Sa, and it's just unfortunate. You lose one inhib, you're probably going to lose another, and you might even lose a third. You see this topside inhib going down just now. A little bit of poke being thrown, but none finding any big targets just yet. You see Kaiba Boy taking down this turret, and it looks like the third inhib will go soon with it. No picks just yet, but the culling comes down. We're putting a ton of pop shots into Rookies, and Rookies falls, and the Stormbringer comes down, disabling 2 turrets and taking down the rest. Soon they will fall. Hybrid Carry may fall with them, but the rest of the team goes, and the Nexus will go with him as well. It is a game for Doggo after a complete domination by Prey.
Yeah, I mean, you said it well. Domination by Prey. Game 1, very dominant. Game 2, also dominant. CS, not so dominant this one, but definitely dominant on the kill stat. Big Chillers. I don't know what happened this game. I don't. Just look completely outclassed everywhere besides mid lane. Rookie's basically in a 1v9 scenario in both games. Not able to carry his team here. Unfortunately, Dorado Gaming though. Doggo coming through. Absolutely smashed the series. Game 1 had some slip ups. There was almost a very big slip up in this match as well. That was saved completely by the fact that Haoyun decided to ult into the Volibear. If he just stays there hitting Prey, maybe the game looks a little bit differently. But Doggo, I mean, I don't want to get on him too hard. That was a phenomenal game. Really showing a lot of reserve as well. I gave him props for it around the grubs in this match. They weren't overextending. They weren't over forcing their hand, right? They backed up, even if necessarily they could have maybe potentially won it. Not worth coin flipping your entire lead or the game over. Just giving some of those objectives. Something for teams to learn from. You don't need to force yourself into bad fights. Take the fights you know you can win. And Doggo did just that. And came up easily with a 2-0.
I mean, right there, like you said, game 1 had some hiccups, but they were just that, hiccups. They're temporary, and if they aren't, you should probably see a doctor. That is a dominant performance, and especially in that game, that Lucian just put everybody down. He was just getting kills. He was making money, getting kills, and taking names, and that's all it really was. And that's all that really was for the set. I've been Not a Valve Game, joined by Aussie, and we've had Bredicus, and I can't remember his name because he's not in here anymore, but he was on here helping us out with production. It was Adam on production. Excuse me. Thank you, Bredicus, for telling me that. But we always got to thank the production. They make this all possible so people like me and Ozzy can scream at video games on the screen for you all to enjoy. Join us another time on Titan. We appreciate you hanging out with us this time. Have a great night.
Bye, everyone.